Are you finding a difficult road on spreading your media message? And you kind of answered that, but I mean, regarding algorithms and automatic blocks of non-shares on YouTube and things like that. Like, we know every time you talk about psychedelics, you're not going to come up on suggested videos.
Yeah.
On, like, how much of a challenge has that been for you, even though you're attacking it from here's the basic science, here are the facts, here's the research on this, here is the positive and negative aspects of these, sacred medicines or psychedelics or these chemical compounds, whatever you want to classify them as. How difficult has that been for you? What are the challenges that you've faced?
Well, in the beginning, it was, this small grassroots thing, and I was just, trying it out for 30 people in some little indie venue or whatever. And then when it started taking off, and became popular, and it was like, I was able to run these Facebook ads to target the psychedelic community pretty well and that sort of thing. And then things started taking off and like looking really good. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a special. Oh, okay. Someone wants to do a documentary. And then I got this big development deal through a studio that anyone would recognize if I said it. And like, all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, I guess this is going to blow up. And then it just reached a moment where everything kind of came crashing to a halt all at the same time. I've really put all of my psychedelic stuff on the back burner. I don't really do much other than the documentary just came out, so I'm kind of talking about these things again. But after the 2016 election, which took the wind out of the sails of a lot of psychedelic people and Democrats and everything, and had people reprioritizing things. It also, like, there was the big, Facebook started censoring a bunch of stuff with content for like hate speech and that sort of thing. And what got swept up in that, for whatever reason, was drug content as well. And so I was no longer able to. I can still run ads for my psychedelic show, but they're incredibly expensive now. They don't really pay off. I can't target psychedelic interests anymore. Like, you can't be like, hey, anyone that is a fan of the LSD fan page or whatever. Like, you can no longer target those people.
Wow.
And this development deal that I had like all the big, it wasn't even my idea. A big company came to me for me to host a psychedelic storytelling show, and they spent a bunch of money putting together this. They spent way more money than I spent on the documentary. We spent on the documentary putting together like a little 10-minute sizzle thing to take some meetings, and like basically everyone wasn't even like a polite no. They were like, "Are you fucking crazy?"
What's that rule? If you're one step ahead, you're genius. No, I'm sorry. If you're one step ahead, you're smart. If you're 2 steps ahead, you're genius. If you're 3 steps ahead, you're insane.
Yeah. Well, I'm clearly fucking insane because I had it because and then like the documentary, like things. I would have liked to have more time and funding for that, but that was like at the same time that things came crashing to a halt, and then like no one wanted that either, so it need to be self-released, and that's all. Like, all of that is all fine and good. It's a difficult business. Pitching shows is difficult. Making your own documentary is difficult. But the one-man show that I had, the idea that no one has made that a special was like fucking unbelievable to me, because I had I built this successful 111 city tour that, like, if anyone came out to it, it was sold out on every show. People went fucking crazy for it. There's lines of people afterwards wanting to share their own experiences, and I still have tons of fans from that. And the idea that I haven't been able to have that made a special by anyone else. I guess I'll just make it on my own eventually.
Yeah.
Is like, it shows me that that's the industry certainly isn't there yet. Granted, all this stuff was before Michael Pollan's book. That's changed, changed things in terms of normalization.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, the decriminalization stuff, it's going to get people talking, and, a couple of years will go by, and, I guess one of the nice things about the decriminalization is it really won't actually change anything.
Right.
I don't think people are going to be doing more or less mushrooms because of it. I don't think it's going to lead to I don't think there's mushroom arrests happening in Denver anyway.
Right.
But, a couple of years will go by, nothing negative will have happened from it. And then people will be like, oh, well, this isn't worth fighting over,
Right.
Hopefully. And it will open the door for more stuff. And then, if MAPS pushes through, the FDA gave them breakthrough status for PTSD, meaning that the FDA is
That's great.
Having to help them because it's unethical for them to keep people
keep ignoring it
from this potential
Right.
treatment. So things seem like they're heading in the right direction, but I don't know. I don't kid myself into having tons of faith for humanity. I think that most people are idiots.